once again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second Infoday of COROB open call. First of all, let me introduce our speakers and shortly go through the agenda. First of all, we would like to present COROB project itself, and it will be presented by Iñaki Sainz, project coordinator of LordTech. Then Funding Box project lead Patricia Kula will present all the open call requirements. After that, we would like to present challenges of the funding instruments by Iñaki Sainz. And then we will have Q&A session led by Senior Project Manager of Funding Box. So without further ado, we can start COROB introduction. Iñaki, floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Magdalena, for the introduction. So my name is Iñaki Sainz. I am the project coordinator of the COROB project. And today I'd like to make a brief introduction of the COROB project and what it is and what are we targeting at this project. So if we can move to the next slide. Yeah. Before starting, I'd like to say that it's a European project that started last year. So we are still in a very incipient stage of the project, just 8 months running. But what it's COROB about? What we are trying to develop, it's a flexible, cooperative, and intelligent multi-robotic solution. Okay, I think the key concept here is about cooperation robotics. We want to go a step further from collaboration. Collaboration stands for human-robot collaboration. But here, what we want is to make robots cooperate between them, not only sequentially doing operations, but to really make them cooperate together. And why do we want them to cooperate together? Because this will let them enhance these capabilities and increase efficiency and do new tasks. Okay. And what's our vision for this? We are working on manufacturing processes, really focused at this time on 2 semi-industrial use cases for arc welding, for arc-based processes. But what we expect is what we are working on is a global solution. Okay, not only for arc-based processes, but there's a solution that can be applied to any manufacturing processes. And how are we planning to do this? By the research on inspection, monitoring, control, and AI techniques to improve the manufacturing processes. With, of course, the main idea of improving reducing time, cost, energy, and resource reduction. So how are we going to validate this? We will have 2 pilots. As I said, although the solution can be applied will be applied to any manufacturing processes, we are mainly focused on arc-based processes. So there will be 2 pilots, one for joining technologies and the otherwise for wide arc manufacturing, additive manufacturing. So it will be one process for repair. But I will with more details now. Yeah, thank you. So from the point of view of the impact, what we really envision is to make a scientific impact by the research of new technologies based on robotics, AI, and data analytics, in order, as I said, to create a flexible, agile, and reconfigurable manufacturing user. Okay, but as I said, here the key idea is cooperation, with robots. From the environmental point of view, we will have 2 pilots. The first pilot is to do welding without jigs or fixtures. So there is a direct reduction on the manufacturing of this product. So this is especially important for markets with small manufacturing requirements, but not requirements, sorry, quantities, but with a lot of references. Where having fixtures may become a problem, and it's usually very expensive to manufacture the fixture just for 1 or 2 references. Okay. And the other is for repairing for circular economy. So we will repair high added value parts And so rather than manufacturing a new part, we will be repairing them. So it will really make a difference in this at this point. And last, sorry, in the previous one, yeah, from the industrial impact. So we, as I said, the solutions that we are suggesting, they will be tangential to all industrial manufacturing processes. So we are really working on transferring transferring these technologies and the knowledge developed in the project to all the industrial partners throughout Europe. And here you can also see some just a very quick figure of what the process that we are envisioning using AI, vision, data, and control as well. Okay, and always we have defined a three-step process for the manufacturing stages that we can apply to all the processes. Okay, if we now move to the use cases, as I said, we are working on 2 pilots for arc-based processes. The first one is a multi-robot cooperative welding use case. What we are trying to do here is to weld without fixtures or welds, not even point welding. So it's simply using 2 manipulator robots. Each of them will take a part. They will present them, and a third robot will weld them together. It might seem very intuitive, but it's really quite challenging from the point of view of control, because the tolerances for the gap of the part, it's very small, and the perturbances of the forces that are present during the welding, they are not negligible. So it is quite challenging from the point of view of control. And so what we are envisioning for this is the development of a reinforcement based adaptive impedance control, just to make sure that all these demanding positioning requirements are met throughout the process. Sorry. Here, just to make it clear, what we will have the 3 robots. We will develop the reinforcement-based adaptive impedance control. What we want from the call today, we will go through later, it's to get new assets or new contributions that really enrich and enhance the capabilities of this robotic cell, multi-robotic cell. And if we now move to the second use case, yeah, this is regarding WAM. So as usual, it's a multi-robot cell for tooling repair using WAM. So here as well, there will be 2 robots. The first processing robot will be an 8 degrees of freedom processing robot with an industrial robot of 6 degrees of freedom plus the table. So this let us quite flexibility for repairing complex geometries. And then there will be an auxiliary robot that will be in charge of doing the quality assessment, 3D scanning for layer control, and all the tasks that are auxiliaries or ancillaries for the main process. As I said before, here as well, we will supply the robots. We will be supplying the control algorithms and the main trajectory generation and so on. So as I said before, what we are looking from the open call is to receive contributions that can enhance this process and make it more attractive and more innovative. And I think that was all from my side. That was a very quick introduction to the project.
Thank you, Iñaki. Now we will go through the open call requirements. As Iñaki said already, we're looking for innovative solutions. And I will help you out with the open call documents and where can you apply and all the information needed. Later on, Iñaki also will be talking about the technical challenges that we have within our project. First of all, a very welcome everyone. It's very nice to have you here. In case of any questions, please do ask them during our Q&A session that will be led by Antonia Montalvo. But as of now, we will focus on the project itself, where you can find all the information on our COROB EU project .eu website. We are also available on the Twitter, and you can find us all also on LinkedIn. COROB Open Call has been launched 8th of April, and the deadline application for submission is 8th of July. So you have time to submit your application till 5 p.m. 8th of June. So as Iñaki mentioned before, it's a Horizon Europe project co-founded by the European Commission, and it's coordinated by LORTEC with the participation of 8 consortium partners from 5 different countries. And as Iñaki mentioned before, we aim to develop a flexible, cooperative, and intelligent multi-robotic solution for our welding-based manufacturing processes. So a little bit about the open call. So the purpose of the open that has been mentioned already within the project framework. This initiatives aims to enhance the efficiency and the flexibility of the arc welding-based processes by employing the multi-robot system powered by inspection, monitoring, and AI. Our call, our project will only launch one open call, aiming to fund up to 2 million euros and select up to 15 external solutions. And within our COROB project, we have defined 2 funding instruments in the same open call. As you can see, here, the first funding instrument is Solution to Challenges. We'll fund up to 10 technology providers who are aiming to develop technical solutions, covering the use cases challenges to be further integrated and validated in the project use cases during your support program after the application validation. The second funding instrument, it's Experiment for Enabling Technologies for Digital Services. We will select 5 technology providers who will be funded up and aim to develop digital services answering to the challenges and will be applicable in the 2 use cases areas with the data acquisition platform of COROB project, as well later on during the support program that we will provide. And now I would like to introduce a little bit who are we looking for, so who actually can apply to our open call. So for the first funding instrument, Solution to Challenges, we will be funding up to 150,000 euros. We will select up to 10 beneficiaries. And the scope of this funding instrument is the integration and testing of innovative technologies to add the new capabilities of those 2 use cases projects. The type of applicants who can apply. So you have to be a single applicant. You have to be an SME or a startup, technology developer or integrator. Please note that other types of companies can apply and join the program, but would not be granted with funding. We will provide you the technical support during the framework of your program. So the duration of this support program, it's 12 months. So within your 12 months, you'll be testing, integrating, and then will be validated by the consortium partners. So for the second funding instrument, as I said already, Experiments for Enabling Technologies for Digital Services, we will fund up to, you can apply for up to 100,000 euros, and we will select 5 beneficiaries that will be provided. So the scope of this is the integration and testing innovative technology to provide the digital service applicable in the project use cases. Again, the type of applicants is the same for as well for the first and the second funding instruments. So single applicants, SMEs and startups. And again, other companies can join the program. Will be provided only technical support, but will not be granted with funding. Here, the duration for the second instrument, it's 9 months. So the support programs for you will last 5 months. And on the next slide, there are 3 things that will support for your application. So you will receive a funding support that has been mentioned. The second support, it's the technical that will be provided by our technical partners to elevate your TRL and make a successful use case. And the third one, during your support program, you will have a business support from our side. We'll make sure that you're a self-sustainable business framework and you have new market opportunities that you can use in the future. Now we'll go through eligibility criteria. So we will check your eligibility and admissibility for the proposals that have been submitted before the deadline. And please make sure that you send the application via our platform before the deadline, because no application after their deadline will be accepted, even if it's a minute, will not be accepted. You can apply to our open call via COROB-OC-fundingbox.com. All the links are available. We will provide you later on also this presentation, so you will have access to the application. And now the entities that have to be established are any of the member states of the European Union and overseas countries and territories and associated countries to Horizon Europe. So now we'll go through the support program. Actually, the lump sum method that simplifies the expense settlement in Horizon Europe projects is requiring the demonstration of the project alignment with the milestone rather than the detailed account documentation like invoices, like any type of documents, financial documents. So for the first funding instrument, you have 3 stages. It's individual mentoring plan, solution development, and validation. And the deliverable that you have to provide, it's the report, the solution development report, and the final report in the total grant as presented on the slide. The same case, it's for the second funding instrument with the difference of the stage number 2, with the digital service development report. So simply speaking, it means that we'll carefully assess your progress and the quality of your work during the reviews, the milestones, the deliverables. We'll check the KPI and ethical recommendations that will be set in the individual mentoring plan. So the lump sum does not exempt you from collecting documentation to confirm the costs under fiscal regulations. The next slide will present you a budget estimation. So in our application form, you need to provide us with the budget estimation form that is provided. The Excel template is provided in the Guide for Applicants tab of the Open Call microsite, and it has to be uploaded to your application. There's a I'll show you later. There is a space for you to provide us with the budget estimation. in accordance to Horizon Europe Maria Skłodowska-Curie Actions Program with the following categories. So first of all, we have the personal costs. Depending on your position, role, dedication, and gross monthly salaries of personnel involved. Later on, you have to provide us with the mobility. So in the budget estimation, it refers to the travel of the and expenses that needed for the implementation of the experiments. In the budget estimation, you have also other categories that are, please remember that the other categories are not being, that are not part of the core experiment, such as purchases of equipment or other goods and services or subcontracting. In your budget estimation, you will also provide us with the 25% for the overheads for all the above items except subcontracting. This is very important as it is the standard flat rate and Horizon Europe program in general. So the above costs, all the above costs will form the eligible costs of the experiment. And this is very important also here to mention that the requested amount for the lump sum will observe the funding rate to be allocated to each type of applicant. So if you are a startup, you will be found the 100% of your application. If you are small, medium enterprise, you will have to, you will be provided with 70%. However, 30% you have to cover from your own costs. Other type of companies will not receive any fundings in here. So next, and we will go through the evaluation process, the selection process of your application. And we would like to let you know that the process is very transparent, fair, and very equal to all the participants. We will evaluate your project in the following phrases. So first, it's a full proposal submissions that you submit on our microsite. And the link was provided and will be provided over these slides. The second, admissibility and eligibility check. We'll check your eligibility, as we mentioned before, and we encourage you to really put in the effort to present your project in the best possible way, offering as much as details as you can. And this will assist us in evaluating your application and identifying how your proposal aligns with the overall scope of the project. The third step will be in and out scope screening, and the fourth, independent individual evaluation. So each proposal will be evaluated by 2 independent experts. Then we'll have a consensus meeting where we will provide the final list of the finalists, and later on you will have to go through the ethics review and the sub-grant agreement signature. On the next slide, now we'll go through application. So this is our website. This is actually where you can apply. As you can see in here, how to our application form. So here, as you can see, we provided you with the guides and documents where you can find all the documents helping you go through the application. We also have a help desk where you can ask all the questions. Our help desk is on Discord, and we are very encouraging you to join our channel. On our microsite, you can also find links to our LinkedIn, Twitter, and COROB project website to find all the information needed. So how to apply? Here in this section, you can see all the guides and documents. You will you will get to know and you will understand the open call requirements and the selection process. Please make sure that before you apply, you read them very carefully. So what we provided you here, it's the guide for applicants. This is very essential guide and a must read when applying before the open call. It includes all the information, description of the scope, the eligibility criteria to be selected, and how we're going to run the evaluation process and run. There is also information about our help desk, and yeah, this is a very essential guide. And the next, we have provided you with the technical description of all the challenges that we have within first and second funding instrument, along with the examples of the desired outcomes. The third document that you will have to provide us is the budget estimation that provides a projection of the financial resources. You will have to apply this document, the Excel file, in our application form. As well, you will have to provide with the work plan of the experiment that should be very clearly described and fully aligned with the COROB objectives that you can fulfill and upload in the PDF file. We have also a frequently asked question document that we have prepared for you, and this is a list of common questions asked by the applicants. It is uploaded throughout the duration of the open call, so if new questions will arise that something is not clear, we will upload them in this exact document. The application form that we have provided you is the template, so you can work on it during your preparation, and you don't have to necessarily go through the microsite. You can work on this template, but please do remember that you still need to, in a way, copy-paste the work that you have done and provide all the information in our actual application form. Okay, so let's go now through the guide for applicants. So this is the core document for us, and as you can see here, the submission deadline, it's July 8th at 5 p.m. Brussels time. What you can find in this document, it's the basic info about the COROB. It's what we offer, depending on 2 funding instruments. You can find an information on the admissibility and eligibility criteria. So who are we looking for? What type of activities can be found and how to apply? The next in this document is how we will evaluate your proposal. There are 6 steps that we will go, and they are well described. And if you have any questions about it, please let us know. Then the next thing in our document, it's our support program and payment agreements that we have included, and what we are providing during the support program, the duration of 12 and 9 months. Here in this document, we also included information how you can contact us, and also final provisions and extra hints before you submit your proposal. So this is how our microsite looks like. This is the application form, and the bottom here, apply now, we very encourage you to do so, even to open your draft and see how the application looks like. So since you've clicked already the apply button, this is where it will lead you to. So this is how it looks like. And you need to click a button of start a new application. Before submitting, of course, the website will show you the application was not submitted. However, here on this slide, I would like to mention that you can add a contributor and send the invitation to your desired email address. So when you are working in a company, you can also share the application with your colleague and invite you to invite the colleague to help you out with this application. There is also option like that. So basically on this slide, we're showing you how the application looks like. First, we start with the basic information. You have later on, I will go through all the sections to show you what actually we're looking for and what do you need to provide us. We'll go through the legal information, the 3 parts are very important: excellence, impact, and implementation. Statistical section, ethical issues, declaration of owner, and processing of personal data. Please notice that here the red stars are the sections that they are mandatory to fulfill in order to submit your application. So if you do not submit, if you do not provide us with the information in those categories, you will not be able to submit the application. So now let's go through the basic information and all the categories. Here in the basic information, you find the deadline and information about the proposals that the proposals in English, only in English, will be admitted. If you put any information in any other language, this will not qualify and this will not be evaluated by us. Please remember that you can edit your application after you submit it. So if you submit your application, you can still edit your application. However, not after the deadline. So as many times as you wish, but you still need to do it before the deadline. So our ask is to not wait for the submission until a very late moment, because you might just be simply late. So in the basic information, you have to provide a project title, and all the question marks with the star are mandatory. The application form, it will show you directly. Here on top, of course, you can go back to application or on all the other sections if you wish to update any information. So now we'll go through the section excellence. In this section, you will have to provide an information of on the innovative component of the product or service that will be provided, and it will be scored by the COROB evaluators with the minimum threshold of 3 out of 5 points, with the special attention to ambition, innovation, and soundness of approach and credibility of the proposed methodology. So when it comes to ambition, please demonstrate to what extent the proposal solution contributes to the project scope. So in particular, focus and identify the specific COROB challenge from the selected funding instrument that you will tackle, and how will you do it. And very important, describe the innovative approach behind it, how you achieve and how you're going to reach your technology readiness levels, as we should start our project at 5 to at the level 3 to 5 and achieve it 6.5 at the end of the project, the technology readiness level. So the next criteria within the excellence is the innovation. Here you have to provide the level of the innovation with your market and about the degree of the differentiation with what your project, your services will bring, as well as like very brief analysis of state of art and what is the project contribution beyond it. So the next the soundness of our approach. In this section, you should provide arguments and credibility of the proposed methodology for covering the challenges and the needs and steps for the integration within the use case. So how will you actually contribute to solving the selected challenges and provide the detailed information? Now we will go through the next section, which is impact. Within the impact, we have four sub criteria: advancing AI data and robotics, market opportunity and scalability, competition, and environmental and social impact. In this section, you should provide how to show the market the potential of your projects or of your services that you propose, and the business model and commercial strategy that you also provide. So it will be scored again by the COROB evaluators with the minimum threshold of 3 out of 5 points, with the special attention to the ambition and the innovation. So advancing AI data and robotics, in this section, you should demonstrate the added value for a flexible and intelligent manufacturing environment using robotics powered by AI and data. In the next session, market opportunity and scalability, you should provide the market potential of your solution for the multi-robot system within the sector of the use cases, and the scalability in other areas and processes for maximizing your business opportunities. In the next subsection, competition, you should describe and analyze the degree of competition of your products or service, and to what extent actually your proposal breaks to the market. For example, the products to be brought to the market can be clearly differentiated from the competition, as well as the services. The next we will ask you in our application to fulfill, it's the environmental and social impact. Here in this section, again, you will have to provide what impact to the environment you contribute with your project or services to sustainable development, Green Deal targets, and other European policies. Here, you should demonstrate also the social impacts of your project and provide us within the description. And the next part in our the next criterion in within our application form is the implementation section. So here you'll have to demonstrate your management and leadership qualities and your ability to take the concept from ideas to the market, and your capacity to carry it all through your ideas, and to understand the dynamics of the market that you are trying to get into. So here we have work plan, risk management, team, and resources committed, including human, travels, equipment, other goods and services. And the work plan, you have to provide us with the actually work plan of the experiment that you're applying to, that should be very clearly described and aligned with our objectives, including the work packages and tasks. This work plan should be realistic, coherent, and achievable. If you remember, I've mentioned already the PDF file. So here in this section, actually, you have a space to upload your file. In the risk management, you should describe the risk assessment and proposed measures to how you're going to overcome them. Especially, you should provide the information about the legal constraints related to the project execution. And in the team section, you will demonstrate your capacity to perform the development of your project. Your project management and leadership qualities and your ability to take the concept, as I mentioned before, from the ideas to market, and how you're trying to tap into the market. You should here remember that your team should be balanced and cross-functional team with a strong background and skill base. In the resources section, you should demonstrate the quality and the effectiveness of the resources in order to get the objectives and deliverables proposed. Here in this section, please fulfill and provide us with the already mentioned budget estimation. You will have a space to upload the file of your project using the, of course, using the template. Now, since we went through all the sections, here in the statistical section, the sixth one, you have to provide us about when, from where did you hear, and these questions. So in the next slide, here it's actually an information about the help desk. Our help desk is on the Discord channel, so we very encourage you to join our Discord channel in order to ask your questions, to receive our support from our team. And how you can do it here on the website. Actually, you can either click this button, join the help desk, or we have provided you with the QR code, so you can very quickly scan the QR code now, or click on this link that will be provided later on. How you can join our Discord? You should click the button or the scan the QR code, log in or create your account if you don't have it, by entering your email and password, and then follow steps to create your account. So Discord will actually guide you through it. So check your inbox to confirm the email and click on the link, accept the invitation from EU Deep Tech. It's a very broad channel powered by Funding Box. Then later on, you will have a question in what are you interested in section, and please select COROB from the list of the project, and it will automatically follow to our channel. If there is not a fun EU Deep Tech channel in the connector, we also have the Connected World section, and you just have to click on select your project section, and then it will guide you through find our Bob icon to join our COROB project channel. That's it from my side. Now I will give the floor to Iñaki to provide you with all the information about the challenges. The technical part, very important.
Thank you, Patricia. So yeah, now if I may, I'd like to get a little more technical, and I'll try to describe and give as many details as possible from what we are expecting from a technical point of view. So if we go to the first technical challenge, this is it is one of the first instrument, funding instrument. It's related to the first instrument, and it is a picking solutions for multi-geometry parts. Okay, so Okay, so we will supply the robots. We will move the robots ourselves. So we don't need anybody to supply any robot. We don't need the trajectory generation. What we need is a vision system that detects where the parts are in the box, and then they need to assess if it is viable to pick them, and what should be their position and orientation. Okay, so for this we will give information about the grippers, about the robots, everything, so that we can do this assessment. Okay, maybe we will have to work together, because it may be the case that it is not possible to pick them, so we need some intermediate step. We can work on this. Okay, the parts that we are envisioning right now, it's plates and tubes of different sizes and thicknesses, and they will be metallic in all the cases. So since this will be running, it will not be a lab, it will be a facility, an industrial facility. So the lining conditions will be uncontrolled. So there might be reflections, there might be signs. Okay. So this is one of the complexities of the solution. Okay, and as I said, all the objects will be randomly distributed in the box, so they might be occluded or in close proximity, and so on. Okay, so I think that's what for the first one. The second one, it's somehow related. It is also related to the first use case. It's also the first funding instrument, and what we are looking here for, it's for two grippers. We need two grippers that they are modular, they are flexible for picking the parts. As I said, we will have plates and tubes, but it will be desirable if we could also pick other geometries with the provided parts. Okay, the parts will have a minimum thickness of 2 millimeters, and we are not thinking about really big parts. Okay, this should not be probably bigger than, I would say, 30 centimeters or something like this. Of course, it would be ideal to have this flexibility. But we do have some specific requirements here. Since we will be using them for welding, there will be a welding bed in close proximity. So the temperatures might be relatively high. What we have identified also that during welding, there are almost 45 kilos of forces are present, a little bit less, but we need some margin. So they need to withstand 45 kilos, not axial, but in other directions. As I said, they should be as flexible as possible, are modular for different dimensions and geometries of parts. And we need that they have a grounding connection. This is because in the end, this is an arc-based process. We need an arc. For this, it is very common to have them in the gripper or in the table. Here, there will not be any table. There will not be any fixture. So the only rounding will be through the grippers. And finally, it's not mentioned here, but it is on the technical guidelines. We have quite restricted limitations for power supply, pneumatic supply, if the solution would be pneumatic. I mean, we are open to different solutions, but we do have some restraints here. Okay, so now we'll move to the second use case, and this is for one manufacturing, and we need a layer height control. In this case, it is really important to keep a consistent standoff between the latest layer and the torch. The reason is that it is really hard to predict the height of each layer. So if we pre-process all the height. Sorry, the height of the robot for all the layers, we may be doing some errors. If the error is positive, then it may be the case that the torch collides against the welding bed. In the other way, the problem is that there is such a high distance that the welding is not consistent. So this is the reason why we need a height control, as was the case for the first for the first use case. We will also supply the robots. We will supply the welding bed. So here what we need is a measuring system that is able to measure the height of the layer that we are applying, do some processing, and then give this distance. Of course, there will be some coordination between the system, the output of the system, and the robot, because the robot in the end needs to adjust the height for the next layer. But here we're open. It doesn't need to be here very quick in real time. From layer to layer, there might be some time for cooling down the temperature of the welding. So we are open here, but we do have some other requirements that could be the solution needs to be into the auxiliary robot that I explained before. The auxiliary robot is the one that is not welding, that's the processing robot. We need an accuracy of a minimum 0.2 millimeters from for the height measurement, and in order to make it viable, it should not surpass the total cost of the solution should not surpass 10,000 euros. Okay, this is not really the case for the project, but in order to make an industrial solution that it can be then transferred and exploited. Okay. Anyway, the exploitation and the IPR will remain yours. This is not the case, but we want to somehow push in order to have something that it can be then later exploited. Okay. And finally, the latencies are not exceed 200 milliseconds. Okay. So the next one, the next challenge is also related to the second use case about a WAM case. We need a preheating system. The situation for the preheating is that if the material that needs to be repaired, the part, it's not heated up, there might be some cracking of the first layer in difficult to deposit materials. And so in order to avoid this, we need some kind of preheating system. The preheating system needs to be mounted on a robot. So we cannot use any ovens or so. The idea is not to use flames either. Okay. What we want is to have a system that it can be controlled. It should have an open loop. It should not surpass the 3 kilos, because otherwise we may get into trouble from the capacity of the processing, not the processing, sorry, the auxiliary robot. And it should be designed to undergo on and off automatically. Also, just to give some range of sizes, we have some ranges from pretty small sizes, like 42 times 40 to 500 millimeters times 200 millimeters. So it's not still too big, but it's medium size. Okay, then the part that we will be receiving is mainly for steel alloys, but it would be nice to have them also for other materials. And finally, the temperature of the robot site should not surpass the 45 degrees Celsius, because otherwise we might get into troubles with the electronics. Okay, I think now the second one, the next challenge is, this one is it's more transversal. We are open to solutions for either of the use cases, and what we want here is advanced sensors for quality monitoring and non-destructive theft purposes. So here we want solutions for inspections and for quality assessment. So here, if you have an innovative solution that you are using to arc-based processes, we are really eager to receive them. But here we have added some examples of things that could really match pretty well. So it could be nice to have optical cameras, infrared or thermal cameras, spectrometers. It will also be fine if you are using ultrasounds, if you are using eddy currents. In the end, the idea is that we want to detect surface imperfections, subsurface interface imperfections, and also in parallel, we need to somehow monitor the melt pool of this is mainly for the WAM case. It's not so critical for the welding case. But in the end, as I said, we want quality assessment methods or sensors for arc-based processes. Yeah, and finally, just to mention that if possible, it is preferred if these methods are based on process time. Okay, so they run in real time, and we can get the results or measurements and results during the process, not after. Okay. Okay, and the last first funding instrument that we have, the last challenge for the first funding instruments, it is related to the welding case. It is also for quality assessment, and this is a post-processing. It's just for obtaining the real cut of the manufactured parts. As you all know, during welding, some forces are applied, and there are some deformations may be present on the parts. So what we need is to assess these deformations and to see if they are within tolerances or not. So the idea here is to have a 3D scanner that can scan the geometry of the new part and compare it with the theoretical part. And as I said, compare it with tolerances and just to raise the flag if everything went wrong and something went wrong. So here we simply suggest a sequence. So we think that the first step would be capturing the data, reconstructing the point cloud, converting it to CAD, and then do some assessment, as I said, just comparing with the theoretical model that we would provide. It would be nice as well if the points that are required for measuring, they are also provided by you. For example, let's imagine that we have a complex geometry, and then we provide this cut, and then you can say, okay, then here we need to take some point clouds from these 3 points, and it should be sufficient. Or no, I need further 6, and it should be in these positions. Okay, that should be nice. Moving the robot is out of the scope of this challenge. As always, the supply of the robots is out of the scope. We will do that. We will move the robot ourselves. But if you can provide these points, then we will go to them. And finally, as I said before, this is the same case. We will be in an industrial facility with uncontrolled lining conditions, so there might appear signs and reflections. And just to give a hint of the sizes, this is I did not talk about the sizes for the first solution, but they could be up to 140 centimeters. Okay, from 10 centimeters to 140. I think this is unlikely, but we are under some discussions in this case, so that could be the total size. Okay, so that was all for the first instrument. Let's move to the second. The second is mainly for digital, technologies for digital service. So the first one that we have is a digital product passport. As I mentioned during the introduction, the solutions that are being worked during the COROB project are for manufacturing solutions, not only arc-based processes, although the pilots are. So we want a digital product passport that is flexible enough to accommodate processes of other manufacturing processes, not only arc-based welding, but and they should cover from the complete life cycle and including materials. Okay. Yeah, as I said here, so we envision at least that the digital product passport has at least 3 components, which is a unique identifier, and we are open to different technologies, just as serial numbers, RFID, QR codes, okay, so that the stakeholders can access the product information. We need that this data is secured. Okay, and finally, there has to be some solution for collecting and encoding this data into the digital product passport. And here in the technical guidelines, we give some examples. We are really open to different technologies, so it is really up to you to suggest the most prominent one. I think we mentioned blockchain in the technical guidelines as the most prominent one. okay, this is not, I don't think it's even a recommendation. It's just an idea, but as I said, we are really open to see your suggestions and your proposals. Okay, regarding the second channel, I think this is about the user interface, if I'm not mistaken. I'm talking by heart. Yeah, so here it's the friendly user interface. So for the user interface, what we are thinking of is to have one single user interface that can be easily customized for both pilots. Okay, so this is I think it's an important comment. We are working on a single project and then applying it to two pilots. So it should be like the COROB user-friendly interface, but then easily customized for both pilots, because in the end we need to give service to both of them. Okay, and it's this is one of the two main tools that we will use really to interact with the operator. I'm always talking about robot cooperation, and it sounds like we will do everything automatic, but what's with the operator? Okay, this is one of the tools that we really need for empowering the operator. Okay, we don't want to substitute the operator, we want to empower the operator. And this is like making his life easy, or his or her life easier, and providing the information so that they can make them contributions and really added value. Okay. So, yeah, few ideas. So we have some bullet points. It should be web-based. It should integrate data and information, of course, trending, giving some information of the past data. Of course, it should be visually appealing, modern, and clean. I think this is quite usual, and it would be nice to have user roles. And just a few comments, also some ideas. I said that one of the main aspects of the user interface is to empower the operator, but we really want to focus on a specific operator, and it's operators without a specific yeah, I think it moved. No, yeah, here. Yeah, so we want to focus on operators that don't have experience, or they are non-technical. Okay, so it would be nice if the HMI would have some I don't know, gameful learning tutorials or elements or simulations for training, so that the user interfaces can really train, and this learning curve can be nicer. Also, some ideas, for example, it is quite common to give when there is an error, to give the error. Okay, if we can go one step further and give not only the error, but maybe some solutions, this could also be helpful. Okay. The next one may sound quite similar to what I mentioned before for the non-destructive tests of sensoring, but the idea is not really on the sensors, but more on the algorithms part. So we have, as I said before, also yeah, it says challenges, maybe is to sub challenges, or it is some trends for these talents. So what we want is to this is like a sensor fusion. So it's like collecting the information from a lot of sensors, or the robots, or the welding power supplies, whatever, merging them all together in order to give a better assessment, or to give information that otherwise could not be possible. Okay. And for example, and the four sub challenges or trends that I was mentioning, that I was listing before, it's just for thermal monitoring, optical monitoring, reflections using profile meters. These reflections keeps coming out all the time, so we are concerned about lining. And yeah, and welding based monitoring, this could be, for example, I don't know, just brainstorming, like making some assessment with the parameters of the welding supplies. I don't know. We are really open to what you can propose. Okay. And I think now it's the final talent. This is also for user. It's a kind of user interface. This is the second tool that it will give information to the operator, and it's a wearable vision system. As I said, it's human-centered process monitoring. Okay, so here The main problem here is that during welding based processes, the operators cannot be next to the robot for safety issues. So they need to be in a robotic cell, and it is really hard for an operator to see, well, to picture what is happening inside the cell, right? So what we are expecting here is to have some kind of wearable system. I could think of some glasses maybe with a virtual reality or augmented reality, mixed reality, I don't know, that could give this information in real time to the operator, and that will let them also interact with the cell in a different way. It's maybe I think that maybe the user interface gives information in a different way, in a more conventional way. This is a little bit more I don't know how to say it, but more realistic, or well, it's definitely more original. Okay, but the idea is to give information about what's happening in the process on real time in a different way to the operator. Okay, and always keeping this in mind, it needs to be human-centered, and the main idea is to empower the operator. And I think that was all from my side.
Okay, thank you very much, Iñaki and Patricia. And next we have time for the Q&A session led by Antonio Montalvo, Senior Project Manager of Funding Box. So if you have any questions, please let us know on chat or by raising your hand. For now, I don't see any questions. So experts, maybe you would like to add something to our participants?
Not really, just maybe a small comment from questions that we have received at help desk and so on. I mentioned a few times that the main idea is we will be supplying the robots, okay? So the challenges are quite specific, and I think they are quite well described in the technical guidelines. But so you can really fix to that. That's my off comment. Yeah, I think there's some
Yes,
questions.
there is a question. Thank you, Iñaki. Would you be providing data to assist development of NDT algorithms?
Well, this is tricky. I think that we can really provide some of the data, but I cannot commit now to say yes, because, and the reason is that if we are not talking about I assume that we are talking about the second instrument challenge for the NDT, or about sensor fusion. That does not include the sensors. This, I think, it's realistic, and we can discuss on it on this. But the thing is, which data is required, and how should be this data collected? I mean, if this is electrical data, this is fine. We can discuss it. But if we are planning to use a camera, then which camera should we have? How should it be installed? When should we collect this data? This is images of damage should be of interest. Okay, so it's about damage. The problem that I see here is that we are not planning to create damages on purpose. For the welding, for example, we do have a reinforcement learning algorithm. It's learning by trial and error. So we are generating a lot of errors right now. This is the usual way. So we could maybe collect some data, but we are not using a camera right now. So I think it could be tricky. I think from the camera point of view, I think it will be tricky, because in the end, from the consortium point of view, so what we have in our scope right now, we are not planning to have any camera. So we are not collecting this data in order to provide it. So as I said, maybe it could be decided, discussed case by case. I think that electrical data should be easy to collect. Images could be more difficult because if we install a camera and start collecting data, maybe when we are able to provide this data, it is late for the solution. So I cannot say yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have another question. We have a modular gripper system in a double robot microfactory and develop a user-friendly user interface. Is it possible to also have other application than welding, like gluing? Is a combined application solution and digital also possible?
Yeah, so for the first question, I think that I'm sorry, but the only pilots will be for arc-based processes, so they will be welding an additive manufacturing, so there will not be gluing. Sorry for that. Regarding the other solution, I think Antonio, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is possible to apply to both solutions. But if I'm not mistaken, it is possible to be granted only for one of them.
Yes, this is correct. You can submit as many proposals you like in both instruments, but there is only one that could eventually be funded in the end of the process. So, yeah, if there are any questions about the process, the open call, I will be happy to answer. If there are technical, it's Iñaki who is going to reply. Okay, I see one more question.
Yes, there is. What about ultrasonic phased array data?
Yeah, so here we were not expecting to do any ultrasonic phased inspection ourselves. Actually, we are not working on this field right now, so I don't think that we even have the sensors to collect this data right now. I'm talking about the first use case. For the second use case, I could maybe check, but I think that we would be in the same situation. I don't think that we would be on time to collect this data on time for the beneficiaries of the open call.
Okay, thank you, Iñaki. Do we have any more questions? Yes, we have. When it comes to digital product passport, what is the expected integration point? Can we take over data, example, about task parameters using MQTT directly from OT network, or it is expected to integrate with some COROB services via, example, REST?
Yeah. So from the digital point of view, it is expected a close collaboration with our platform developers, who in fact they have joined the meeting. He's listening right now. So it is expected a close collaboration. All the data will be available at our platform. I think that MQTT sounds good from the point of view of providing this data via MQTT. Other OT network maybe could also be explored. But in the end, what I think is that the beneficiaries should really expect some discussions in the beginning for interfaces. Yeah, so here we have MQTT and REST, both are fine. But I think that it should be expected to have some discussions at the beginning of the project for this interface for interfacing. But well, as Evangelos has said, the MQTT and REST should be both fine. Yeah. Just maybe I can say a word about the platform. We have a platform that we collect all the data from the project. It is based on asset administration cells, and well, it does have some other functionalities as well. So I think the integration with the either with the sensors for providing data for these NDT calculations and so on, and also for the sensors and picking solutions, it could be it would be with the project platform.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have another question? Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I think that everything is clear. So thank you very much. Oh, okay. So we have another one. Is it expected when it comes to DPP part also not only to collect the data about the execution, but also serve as master data, service sharing, process quality parameters for the task?
Yeah, so when we wrote the specifications for most of the challenges, we left many points open. So this is one of them. We didn't want to really write a very closed specification. So this is something that is open, and I think that if this is open, this is aligned with your research lines, and it can be something that you can gain points here because it's more innovative and so on. So please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So if we don't have any more questions, thank you so much for today. Please remember to join our third webinar on June 20. For more details, follow us on COROB LinkedIn profile, Funding Box LinkedIn profile, and join our Discord channel. And I will stop the recording right now. Thank you very much.